Brothers, today we are going to be responding to a question. I'm going to get straight into it. He asks, I'm not sure if this would make a good episode or not, but I was curious about morning routines. How do you do a morning routine when there's something wrong? Examples: some kind of emotional pain like a death in the family, a loss of a relationship, friend, girlfriend, or wife, or a physical one like injury or sickness. I have a morning routine that's not as extensive as yours, but when I have an injury or I'm sick or going through a breakup, I tend to let my morning routine slide, sometimes for days or weeks. Maybe this isn't a good episode idea, but I was just curious for my own personal benefit. This is an excellent episode idea, actually, because so many men have some form of a morning routine, but they usually drop it when they're going through some sort of emotional turmoil, or when they're sick, or when they just get back from a vacation, that sort of situation. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of a strong morning routine. As a matter of fact, I was sharing with the brothers in our dating reboot program this Saturday morning that I struggled with my morning routine today because I've been in Hawaii for the past month. I was working from there, and I also was attending a conference. And returning, I was just thrown off. Maybe it was the time zones, maybe it was the diet. Something was just a little bit off. And I've been really struggling to do the morning routine. And by struggle, I mean the motivation to do it was not there. The interesting thing is that it may take you a while to realize that there is resistance towards your morning routine. And personally, whenever it takes me a while to realize that, I know that my awareness practice is off. My awareness game is off. I know I've not been meditating enough. All of these things are very critical for rebooters. Now, don't get me wrong, pornography is not my primary struggle at this point in my life, but I do have other things I'm focusing on when it comes to my mission that still require me to make use of the tools I learned as a rebooter. In fact, where I am in life right now and the success I have, the requirements to keep it going is to maintain the rebooting lifestyle that I've had for many years. And awareness is one of those things. Now, when you're going through turmoil, when you're going through loss, when you're going through some form of sickness or injury, that is the time that you have to go all in on your morning routine. It doesn't have to be extensive. In previous episodes, I've spoken about having two types of morning routines. One being an extensive one that can be up to 90 minutes. That's typically how long mine is. And another one could be shorter for days when there's an emergency, days when you have to wake up much earlier. They're just days that things come in the way of your life. A lot of brothers going through our program will typically use these on days when there's a big push at work or in their business, or they might use it when they have a kid for the first time they have a child, or while they're traveling. However, when something else is bothering you internally, the first thing to do is to commit to the morning routine and to a few specific things in the morning routine. Exercise is always a very important one, unless you have some sort of injury. And if there's some sort of injury or sickness, stick to the basics without hurting yourself. One of those things would be stretching. If you can stretch without exacerbating the injury, get some stretching in, move your body, get some sunlight. If you wake up before the sun, after you've done some stretching, get pen to paper. Pen to paper is important. Journal about your feelings. I don't care how you do it, but raise awareness about your feelings. We have a lot of coping strategies in the group that require you to put pen to paper. You can do a rational, irrational behavior exercise. If you wake up with painful emotional thoughts on your mind, they are just emotions. You might have a heaviness about you due to some turmoil that you're going through. Again, journaling may not release these emotions, but it certainly brings awareness to that. The next thing is, and again, all I'm talking about, the first part is the physical, which is some light exercise or some sort of stretching. The next thing is putting pen to paper and bringing up awareness of your emotional state. And then the next thing would be to sit, to meditate. Now, admittedly, for those of you who do not have a meditation practice, meditating can be very, very challenging, especially so when your mind is preoccupied with some emotional issue or when it is a little bit weak or cloudy due to sickness. I remember when I had COVID last year, I was also doing a certification for mindfulness at that point in time. And I remember how challenging it was for me. It was when I actually developed the 3 things minimum for your morning routine, which was at least get up. You don't have the strength to exercise, so stretch a little bit, write a little bit, and then sit down to meditate before your sessions begin. There was one other thing I would do after meditation, and that would be to set an intention for the day. Setting an intention for the day is very simple. It involves deciding how you want to spend that day. It could be in terms of completing a realistic task, the most important task for the day. It could be just getting through the day without being distracted by your injury, by your sickness, or by your emotional state. Sometimes it could be just getting through the day in a pleasant mood. It could be getting enough rest. Whatever it is, set an intention for how your day will go.